game in which players assume the role of Vietnam's veteran Lincoln Clay. Of course, it was black, seeking revenge against an organized crime syndicate. As players explore the 1968 era New Orleans, they complete missions that often involve taking over criminal rackets, assassinating targets from a third-person perspective. Players use pistols, machine guns, shotguns, explosives, and knives to kill enemy, rivals, and thugs. Players can directly kill civilians and police, though this may negatively affect their progress. Combat highlighted by realistic gunfire and large blood splatter effects. Players can also use attacks to strangle and or stab enemies from behind. In some sequences, players engage in intense hand-to-hand combat, performing various takedowns and executions, stomping enemies' heads, snapping their necks, shooting enemies in the mouth or head at close range. One sequence depicts characters cutting limbs off corpse inside a warehouse. The game contains depictions of nudity and sexual material, topless women dancing and caressing each other, doing pornography shot, a sex party setting in which a woman performs oral sex on a man, a male couple having sex in a bathhouse. Unlockable Playboy magazine centerfolds cover depicting exposed buttocks and breasts. The game also includes references to drugs and drugs use, a man snorting lines of drugs, missions that involve spiking liquids with LSD, depictions of other drugs processing organization. The words F, C, S, CC are heard. Players will also frequently experience racial. The N word is used in other words and dialogue. Now, for the parents that are listening, this is sold at your favorite store, Walmart and Target. The soundtrack is sold at Best Buy. So when your son or daughter goes over a friend's house, I'll be honest with you, most of them, the black kids or their friends, are going to have Mafia 3. So when you go and you drop your son or daughter off, the first question you should ask is, Miss Jones, Mrs. Johnson, what games do your children play? And do they have Mafia 1? It's got to be a setup. You don't ask about Mafia 3. You ask about Mafia 1. Do they have Mafia? Oh yeah, they got Mafia 1, okay, which means they will have Mafia 3. Have you read the contents of Mafia 3? We go back to what I said earlier, Mark, about the 84% increase of bisexuals or homosexuals between the ages of 13 and 24 in the black community from 2005 to 2014. Am I right? This is one of the components that the media uses. How can Target and Walmart sell something like this, and how can we as a community allow this to happen? I mean, those are the questions. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Let me give you a very good example. Ronnie, Greg, Young Paul, and Mark. When I was in Gary, the gas stations were selling pornography. That's not the problem. When most people get gas, they were sending their children to get candy. The pornography was right in front, all right? So the group that I was in called African American Men, I was the president of it, and we went to the gas station and said, y'all need to move this to the side. You know what we did? For 2 hours, we stood outside that gas station. Anybody that pulled up that were the most were black, we told them, hey, they selling pornography, the kids can see it. Nobody bought gas. The guy came out. This is just 2 hours. The guy came out and apologized and said, what do y'all want me to do? We said, we want you to move that pornography. He did it. That's just in 2 hours. You cannot tell me that Target